having a nice time at home and you're enjoying all the activities that we're putting on Seesaw. The school is very quiet without all the children in and we're all missing you. But I'm here today to read a book called Rhinos Don't Eat Pancakes. Do you ever get the feeling that your mum and dad aren't listening to anything that you say? You do? Then you are just like Daisy. Her mum and dad never listen. Daisy could tell them that her hair was on fire or the dog had eaten a person. But they would just nod and say, "That's nice, dear," or "Tell your grandma," or "Can't you see I'm on my phone?" So when one day Daisy had something really important to say, guess what? Nobody listened. So this is what happened. Daisy was eating her breakfast when a big purple rhino strolled into the kitchen. That's right, a big purple rhino. It was as big as a bus and as purple as a plum. It was also a bit peckish, so it took a chomp out of Daisy's pancake and went upstairs. "Mum! Mum!" Daisy called. "There's a big—" "Tell your dad," said Mum. "He'll catch it in a mug and throw it out of the window." "Dad, Dad," said Daisy, there's a huge—" "Shh," said Dad. "The spider can wait." "It's not a spider," Daisy shouted. "It's a big purple rhinoceros." But as usual, nobody listened. Meanwhile, the rhino made himself right at home. Daisy saw him in the hall and saw him in the garden. She spied on him in the bathroom and surprised him on the toilet. But every time she tried to tell her parents, they would say, "Shh, Daisy, can't you see we are busy?" Daisy's parents were busy all week. So Daisy began to talk to the rhino instead, and soon they became good friends. They played the hula hoop and made pizzas together, and the rhino tickled Daisy until she thought she would explode. But Daisy's parents didn't even notice. Until the pancakes ran out. And all the pancakes had gone. "Who ate all the pancakes?" yelled Dad, looking at Daisy. "It was the rhino," she said. "Rhinos don't eat pancakes," said Dad. "This one does," cried Daisy. "I saw him in the kitchen." "A rhino?" said Mum. "In the kitchen?" said Dad. "Yes," said Daisy, "exactly." Mum and Dad roared with laughter. "Oh, whatever next?" they said. "Is there a shark in the toilet, Daisy? Is there a polar bear in the fridge?" "There he is! Look!" Daisy shouted. But Mum and Dad were so busy laughing that they didn't even notice. They didn't see it. "Come on, Rhino," said Daisy. "I've had enough of this." The rhino tickled Daisy with his horn, but she was too glum to giggle. "Mum and Dad never listen," she sighed. "They are always a million miles away." The rhino sighed deeply through his big purple nostrils. "I'm sorry, Rhino," said Daisy. "Your family are very far away too, aren't they?" The rhino nodded, and a little lilac tear rolled down his cheek. Poor Rhino. That night, Daisy stayed up thinking of ways to get the rhino back home to his family. He was too heavy for a hot air balloon and too big for Daisy's rubber boat. She thought about lending him her bicycle, but the helmet would never fit his head. The next morning, Mum and Dad had a surprise. "We're taking you to the zoo," said Mum, "so you can see a real rhino." "What do you think?" said Dad. Daisy thought it wasn't a very good idea because there was already a good rhino sitting on the sofa. But she didn't say. What was the point? Mum and Dad were not listening. At the zoo, Daisy saw yellow giraffes, bright red parrots, orange and black tigers, and green grass snakes. But she couldn't help thinking about her poor purple rhino. "Hurry up, Daisy," said Mum. "The rhinos are this way." But what was this? Missing. Big purple rhino likes pancakes. If found, please call the zoo. "Cripes," said Mum. "Well, that explains the pancakes," gasped Dad. Mum and Dad and Daisy rushed back to the house, and guess what they saw when they got home? That's right, the biggest, purplest rhinoceros in town. "What did I tell you?" said Daisy, grinning from ear to ear. "I'm phoning the zoo," said Mum. The rhino looked shocked. "No," said Daisy, "not the zoo. He needs to get back to his family. They are 1,000,000 miles away." "Well, we'd better get a move on," said Dad. "The next flight to 1,000,000 miles away leaves this afternoon." The rhino packed his suitcase while Daisy found his hat. Then they all pushed his big purple bottom into the back of the car and drove to the airport. "I'll miss you," said Daisy as the rhino went on the plane. The rhino gave her a big purple hug. He would miss Daisy too. Back at home, Daisy started to feel lonely again. Who would listen to her now? But little did she know that everything was about to change. "Tell us about the rhino, Daisy," said Mum. "Yes," said Dad. "Tell us all about the big purple pancake-eating rhino." So Daisy told Mum and Dad about the hoopla and the pizza and the tickets, and guess what? Mum and Dad listened and listened until Daisy had no more words to say. It was brilliant. "Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?" asked Mum as she tucked Daisy into bed that night. Daisy looked out onto the landing. "No, that's all for now," said Daisy, smiling. "Night, night." The pink polar bear would have to wait until tomorrow.